What if I told you that you could buy a brand new construction home with zero out of pocket and even walk away from the closing table with $10,000 in your pocket? No, it's not a scam. It's a real strategy using the USDA loan and exclusive builder incentives that I'm going to break down for you right now. In today's video, I'm going to show you exactly how you can use the USDA loan and the special builder incentives that are going on right now to not only buy a home with little to no money out of pocket, but potentially walk away from the closing table with money in your pocket, essentially getting paid to buy the house. So if you've been thinking about buying a home but don't have a ton of cash saved up, this may be the strategy that you need to know. Before we dive in, do me a huge favor, like and subscribe. It helps the channel tremendously and helps get videos like this out to everybody. And also, if you or anybody you know are looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in El Paso, do not hesitate to contact me. Links on how to contact me down below. But as always, let's go ahead and get into the video. Now, we got to start with a little bit about what is the USDA loan and what are the benefits, right? So first things first, let's talk about the USDA loan and why it's a secret weapon for buying a home with zero down. So there is a unique opportunity right now where a lot of new construction, is being built, qualifies. So when you pair that with the USDA loan, which again, what is the USDA loan? The USDA loan is a government-backed mortgage designed for buyers in eligible areas. But don't let this is a key word. Most people think rural. Don't let that word fool you. There is actually plenty of new construction homes in USDA eligible areas. So what are the key benefits to the USDA loan? Well, the major one is zero down payment. So unlike conventional loans or even FHA loans, USDA loans don't require any down payment. And another big benefit is lower mortgage insurance. So FHA loans have high mortgage insurance, but with the USDA loan, it's significantly lower. Also, another big bonus is competitive interest rates. Since it's backed by the government, lenders offer lower interest rates than many other loan programs. And another big one, and here's the key, flexible credit requirements. So even if your credit isn't perfect, you may still qualify. But however, the only way to find out, like I tell all my clients, is the first step is taking the first step is actually talking to a lender to see where we stand, what situation we're in, and then see what options we have moving forward. And so another thing about the USDA loan, you have to qualify for it. So who qualifies for the USDA loan? You must be in a USDA eligible area. Here's the good news. I can help check for you, but like I discussed, there's a unique situation where there's a community that's in high demand here in El Paso where a majority, if not most, of new construction can qualify for this type of loan. It's actually awesome to see. So that is the first thing, right? So the actual home must be in a USDA eligible area. And here's another note. It doesn't only apply to new construction. There are resale homes, but again, this strategy particularly pertains to using both the USDA loan and the new construction home builder incentives. So what's the other criteria? You must meet certain income limits, which again, I can help you check because they vary by area and how many people qualify without realizing that they actually do. So there are income limits. However, most people are pleasantly surprised. They think they may not qualify, but they actually do, because again, we kind of got to check case by case. And then finally, this is another one. You have to use it as your primary residence. That has to be the intent. So this is not for investors. This is not to pick up investment properties. This is something that you should be able to do if you want to live in the home. And again, if you plan to live on the home, I love using, leverage. So the less money you put into the deal, the more, you take advantage of the beautiful thing about real estate, which is the appreciation, right? So your cash on cash return essentially is going to be much higher the less cash you put in. So if you plan on living on it, especially more than 5 years, but I would say at least 10 years, this is a beautiful way to get into a home, because again, you essentially get into the home with little to no money down. And if you do it right, you might even walk away with money in your pocket to, again, you could buy furniture, finish, the backyard, or, if you want, you can use that with your lender, that money that they offer, to buy down your interest rate to quite significantly. So there's a lot of flexibility with the strategy, and I think it's really something that we can look at case by case basis. But essentially, that's who needs to qualify. Again, just to recap, you must be in an USDA eligible area, which a lot of new construction in El Paso in a certain neighborhood, not neighborhood, but a community, is definitely eligible for this. There are income limits to take into account, but again, most people can qualify. A lot of people do qualify, and they're surprised to find out that they do. Also, again, you have to use it, or your intent has to be for it to be a primary residence. So those are the big things to consider when you want to use this type of loan. So now let's go ahead into how builder incentives can help get you maybe even paid at closing. So I'm going to go ahead and explain the incentives. So now here's why things get really interesting, right? So this is the key. So the USDA loan is great. You know, it helps with no money down for your loan. But when you pair it right now, there's home builders offering huge incentives, and they all vary quite a bit, you know, but to sell their homes, they're offering these huge incentives, and you can stack these incentives with the USDA loan to get the best deal possible. So here are some common builder incentives that we're seeing right now at the time of making this video. So closing costs are covered by a majority, if not most, most builders, if not all. So some builders are paying 100% of your closing costs, which could be anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 in savings, depending on the value of the home. And then builders are offering rate buy downs. So builders are working with lenders to buy down interest rates, lowering your monthly mortgage payment, which is huge. So interest rates are going to be a major component to directly affecting your monthly mortgage payment. And some builders are offering upgraded incentives. They'll throw in free upgrades like appliances, flooring, backyard landscaping, you know, shutters, or anything to sweeten the deal. So right now, again, the incentives that are being offered are very hard to ignore. And finally, depending on which builders, some are offering, you know, concessions where you can use them to, again, buy down your rate, or you can elect to have it cash back after closing. So in some cases, there's extra incentives for you after closing in the form of, you know, landscape allowance, but it's literally a check after you close made out to you, and you can pocket the money and use it for whatever you'd like. Most of my clients elect to use it to buy furniture, or like I said, finish their backyard, whatever you want. It's essentially they're walking away from the closing table with money in their pocket. So this literally means, like I said, you can walk away with a check from the closing table. So, I mean, when you take a look at that and you consider the fact that you can get into a home with little to no money out of pocket, or if depending on which builder you choose and the incentives that they're offering, you could potentially walk away from the closing table with money back, some cases up to $10,000. Pretty unreal, and it's hard to ignore. It may not be for everybody, but like I said, if you've been interested in buying a home but you just don't have the cash saved up for even the FHA loan, which is 3.5%, this definitely could be the winning ticket for you, or the strategy to use to make that dream a reality. So just to recap, like I said, imagine you use the USDA loan. You use the USDA loan to cover 100% of the home's down payment, you know, so there's no down payment. So that's cash that you don't need to bring to the closing table. And then when you couple that with the new construction home builder incentives, most, like I said, are covering closing costs at a minimum. So that's the other part of the money that you don't have to bring to the closing table. And then after that, it depends on which builder you're going with. But again, if they're offering even more concessions besides just the closing costs, again, you can bring down your interest rate with that money, or you could elect to get it back after closing. And again, that's how buyers are able to walk away with the closing money in their pocket from the closing table. So if you're finding this helpful, please go ahead and hit that like button. It really helps, like I said, get this kind of information out there to, you know, potential buyers. All right, so moving on, how could you get 10K at closing? We're going to go over an example to break down the numbers. So let's look at an example so you guys can see how the numbers work. Let's use an example of buying a $250,000 new construction home, and let's go over with a conventional or FHA loan. So if you bought this, you know, home that we're using an example was $250,000. Your down payment is going to range from 3 to 5% with an FHA loan or a conventional loan. So that's going to break down to at a minimum of $7,500 to up to $12,500 for the down payment. So that's literally money that you don't have to bring to the closing table. You don't have to have it saved up if you elect to choose a USDA loan. Now, closing costs, like I said, are also covered. So what are closing costs, or what are the expense for closing costs? They range, you know, different. They're going to range depending, but usually they're going to land between a 2.5% to 3.5% down, maybe more. Sometimes it just depends on which lender, etc. But closing costs generally for a $250,000 home are going to range anywhere between $6,000 to $9,000. Again, this is money that's not going to the home. It's not going into the home as equity. This is just the cost of buying a home, whether that's resale or new construction. These are closing costs that one has to consider. And if you're going with a resale, yes, you can negotiate some or all of these, but they're not guaranteed like they are with new construction. So the total out of pocket with a conventional or FHA loan to buy a $250,000 home is going to land somewhere between $13,500 to $21,500. And like I said, let's go over it. If you were using a USDA loan along with the builder incentives, there's no down payment with the USDA loan. It's covered 100%. So there's zero money out of pocket there. Like I said, that you don't have to bring to the closing table. Closing costs, like I said, most if not all right now, builders, new construction home builders are covering at a minimum your closing costs, which is still a huge help. So that's also $0 out of pocket. And here's the big kicker. So depending on which builder, but there's extra builder incentives. So like I said, some are even offering your closing costs plus a rate buy down, and some of them are just giving concessions back, and you are free to choose what you want to do with that. If you elect to have your lender use it to buy down your rate, or you can elect to have it as, cash back after you close. So with that in mind, depending on which kind of deal you go with, it may be up to $10,000. Again, it's going to depend on the builder and the price of the home, etc. But imagine that's at least a $20,000 plus dollar swing in your favor. So not only do you not need a down payment, but you could actually essentially, be getting paid to buy the house and getting money back. So that's where the big strategy comes in. Again, you could leverage this to get into a home with little to no money down, which is great, but that's if you do it correctly. And again, depending on which builder, which combination you choose, you could potentially walk away from the closing table with money, which again, it's hard to ignore. How to take advantage of these deals before they disappear. So at the time of this video, which is early 2025, February, early February to be exact. Again, here's the deal. These USDA loan in areas won't last forever. They're always getting updated and changed. So many builders change their incentives from time to time. So these are the current deals that are currently going on with limited inventory, because here's a big thing. It's not on to be built homes that they're usually offering these huge incentives. It's always on move-in ready inventory. So that's always changing, and in some areas may stop qualifying for the USDA loan. Again, they get, the map changes from time to time, but as of right now, the majority, like I said, of new construction homes in a particular area, in a community in El Paso are qualifying for this type of loan. And it is, like I said, very hard to ignore when you consider your options. But essentially also it's for those that are looking to buy a home but maybe don't have all that cash on hand to start the home buying process. This could be a winning ticket to get you into owning a home. So even if you're thinking about buying a home and you want to see what you qualify for, let's go ahead and talk. Feel free to reach out anytime. I'm always happy to help. So here's what to do next. You can go ahead and comment USDA home below, or DM me and we can talk offline, and I'll send you more information or a list of what homes are eligible for this type of strategy. Also, let's connect. I can put you in touch with a fantastic lender who specializes in USDA loans and VA loans, any type of loan, but they are very well versed on this combination, and they're very in tune with the builder incentives. So they're able to kind of walk through different scenarios and see which one's best for you. So let's go ahead and start your journey to home ownership with maybe potentially zero money out of their pocket. So again, don't wait. These deals are currently going on. They're able to be done right now. I don't know about the future, but again, if again you want to stay in tune with updates on the current inventory or market, as always, please go ahead and like and comment and subscribe. It helps tremendously, and I'll see you guys in the next video.